Foul. Hudson Luderman nonchalant. Barra hands that one on the on-deck circle. So now an 0-1 count to Kyle Langley here with one out in the top of the first. Fazell gets his sign and delivers. That one an off-speed pitch that misses outside for ball one. To make it 3-1s on the scoreboard. And a 1-1 count with one out. Fazell fires the 1-1 to Langley. That one's golfed out to right field. Trinidad back on the warning track, over the shoulder, makes a nice catch for out number 2. Folks, we want to apologize for any technical difficulties of the broadcast. Obviously, road trip is a little tough sometimes, taking all the equipment down from Charlottesville and bringing it over to Harrisonburg. But glad to have you with us, Luke Stefanisco and Jeremy Rose on the Tom Sox Broadcast Network. We're in the top of the first. You didn't miss much. Perry Hargett retired looking for the first out of the inning, and Kyle Langley flew out to right field. So 2 outs so far for the Sox here in the top of the first. Hudson Luderman, shortstop, digging in. First pitch he sees from Fazell is a beautiful breaking ball that spins into the strike zone for the first strike.
And Hudson Luderman in a new role in the lineup today, batting third and playing shortstop for the first time this year.
Another breaking ball from Fazell. That one up just a little high in the strike zone, so now a 1-1 count to the dangerous pull hitter, Luderman. We've talked about it at length on many broadcasts, but looked at Luderman's spray chart today as he fouls that one back right toward our booth. And his only non-hit to his pull side was a ground ball up the middle, and that was one of his numerous hits on the year. So out of 25 hits, only one has not gone to the pull side. Fazell delivers the 1-2, and that one up high and tight to even it up at 2-2.
Yeah, Luderman been kind of a solid piece in this lineup. His ability to play every infield position with his start at shortstop today means he will have covered the 4 infield spots from third all the way over to first. And that's just kind of been able to keep his bat in the lineup. He's hitting just around 250, but just consistent enough ABs, puts together good at-bats, and, you know, you get a great quality guy in Hudson Luderman as well.
Yeah, Huddy, a great guy, a good clubhouse presence, always smiling. One of the many guys in the Sox that always seems to be smiling and cracking jokes. Now it's a 3-2 count. Fazell delivers the pitch. Luderman golfs that one out to center. Flying in is Thompson. He'll pull up and make a nice catch on the run for out number 3. So Cannon Fazell showing no signs of stopping here in the top of the first. He puts the Sox down 1-2-3. 0-0 after half inning. Back at the bottom of the first. Sox go to work on defense here in the bottom of the first inning. Harrisonburg will send up the top of their order, which will be Jalen Evans, the second baseman, Jose Perez, the third baseman, and Josiah Seguin, the shortstop. They'll do battle with Charlottesville's Luke Crater, who came into the team as more of a relief guy and has had to find himself in a role of a starter as the Sox have been befallen by multiple injuries at that spot.
Yeah, making his second start of the season, his last appearance since a July 11th start where he went 2 innings, gave up 1 run, 2 hits, had 2 walks and 2 strikeouts added into the mix. Throughout the course of the season, 6 appearances, a 4.50 ERA. So been solid on the mound for the Sox through 10 innings pitched. Would like to see him get some length here. Definitely a tall task against a team like the Turks with the explosive firepower that they have, especially at the top of their order with Evans, Perez, and Seguin.
After Evans fouls the first one out of the stadium, we'll take a look at the defensive alignment for the Sox. At first, Tanner Shadle. Second and shortly, Lee Sowers and Hudson Luderman. Patrick Nias at the hot corner out and left, Walker Buchanan. Center and right, Kyle Langley and Perry Hargett, respectively. And Anderson French doing the catching duties as Crater delivers a breaking ball up high to even the count at 1-1.
And with the addition of Jose Perez into this batting order for Harrisonburg, he had been playing a whole lot of second base and now slides over to third today as Jalen Evans takes up the spot back at second base where he's played all season long. Had some time out in center field, and they've slid him back now to the infield. Evans
takes a big cut at the fastball there from Crater, but he can't make contact. And so now Luke ahead 1-2. You would think Evans would be a great fit for the center field spot, one of the fastest guys in the VBL. Cover a lot of ground out there in center, but sometimes it's about reaction time and something you can't teach with a lot of outfielders. That's why he's not there today. And this pitch from Crater misses inside for ball 2.
Yeah, and at Wingate didn't play any outfield, only listed as an infielder. So didn't spend a whole lot of time out in the outfield. Maybe played some in high school, but definitely more comfortable on the infield, in this case, infield turf.
So now 2-2 count to the leadoff man. Crater gets his sign. Now he delivers. Breaking ball tapped down the third base line, but foul. So Evans stays alive to see another pitch. Jeremy, you were excited to talk about the uniform combination today, so
yes, I am.
I'll let you discuss the uniforms today.
Less maybe about the Sox jerseys. I'm still not a fan of the green, even though we're 35 games into the season now, or whatever we are at that point. Still not a huge fan of that green. 2-2 misses outside. But the Sox in their road greens face off against these lovely alternate powder blue with red accented uniforms. Dare I say, almost Phillies-esque in terms of the colors, but pretty jerseys with the white pants. So definitely a big fan of the powder blues whenever you get to see them.
It almost looks pink from up here, the accent on the jerseys. Crater fires the 3-2. That one's popped up. It's going to hit off the top of the press box, I believe. Nope, just a little too far over and foul, but Evans stays alive on 3-2.
It might be pink. I think they might actually be breast cancer awareness uniforms. So you've got some red some pink accents with Jalen Evans at the plate, but I do think that there is a breast cancer awareness stripe on the upper right-hand corner of those jerseys. So some pretty accents.
3-2 once more from Crater, a breaking ball that nearly flies above the head of Evans, so he'll work a leadoff walk for the Turks, and they'll have a base runner to begin in the bottom of the first.
And there might not be a worse scenario than giving up a leadoff walk in, whether it's this inning or in any inning, to Jalen Evans at the plate. Nobody is better at stealing bases throughout the Valley Baseball League than Jalen Evans. He runs better than everybody else does and has yet to be thrown out this season. So just not who you want on base in any given scenario.
Well, you'd like to see Anderson French, certainly a guy that has the talent, played in the Cape Cod League. Now here with the Sox, could be a guy to throw out. Jalen Evans is the first pitch from Crater to the man in the 2-hole. Jose Perez misses the zone.
Definitely a tall task with him on first base and with how good Jose Perez has been to start off this season.
So 1-0 count now to Perez. Crater gets his sign. Out of the stretch he fires. Evans goes. French fires down to second, and a nice throw. Can't get Evans. He slides in there head first safely. And he'll find himself in scoring position. The 2-0 count for Perez.
And there it is. Definitely aided by the turf that you get here at the field at James Madison University. Eagle Field helps you slide a little bit, but he's done it both at home and on the road, so he's not afraid to steal bags no matter where he is. And for good reason, that's now 26 for 26 on the year.
Big lead, and now he's going to go to third. French won't even fire, so Jalen Evans makes it 27 stolen bases on the year as he takes second and third, and now a 3-0 count, and he finds himself 90 feet away from scoring.
And that's just what he brings at the plate. You have to hold him on better if you're Luke Crater. You've got to mix up your looks from pitch to pitch. He saw 3 pitches, stole on 2 of them. Got to mix up your looks, hold him on a little bit better.
3-0 pitch to Perez. Taps that one right back to the mound. Crater, a nice acrobatic play to get it. Fires over to Shadle at first in time for out number 1. And Jalen Evans thought about heading home there. And Crater gave him a look, kept him at third, and that was a nice job by Crater to keep him there.
Yeah, and Luke Crater on that play. If he doesn't make that play, if that ball goes over his glove, Jalen Evans is taking off to home, and he's in there safely. So thankful for, the height that you get from Luke Crater at 6'5" to be able to jump up into the air off of the mound that's already elevated to make that play and not allow Evans to get anywhere off of third.
Well, a guy that's no stranger to RBIs, Josiah Seguin at the plate takes a first pitch ball from Luke Crater. No longer leads the league in RBIs, but he still finds himself second. That honor goes to Landon Beaver, who's had an outrageous year for the Strasburg Express.
Yeah, been absolutely outrageous. Unfortunately, we didn't get to watch a whole lot of him play this season, but hopefully we get a look at him somewhere down the line.
Seguin grounds this one to short. Luderman fields it on a hop, fires over to Shadle at first in time. Evans will score from third, however, so the Turks take the lead on an RBI fielder's choice from Josiah Seguin.
Yeah, and a solid play right there from Luderman, doing the job for Josiah Seguin, who now works his way up to 35 RBIs on the year with that one. And a guy who's seen a whole lot of at-bats in Josiah Seguin. He paces the entire Valley Baseball League in that stat when it comes down to at-bats. Over 140 at-bats, that's AB 142 right there, and does a job. And that's what you get when you have an experienced 3-hole hitter and a guy like Jalen Evans who goes from a walk to scoring on a ground out 2 batters later.
So now it's Jordan Jaffe, a mid-season addition for the Turks, but has been a solid pickup for Bob Weiss's unit, adding .311 in 13 games for Harrisonburg as Crater falls behind 2-0. Jaffe's been nothing short of phenomenal in his collegiate career, playing 3 years at the University of Richmond, batting over .300 for all 3 of them. He'll play his college baseball next season at Liberty University. Crater delivers the next pitch, a breaking ball that slides into the strike zone to get himself back in this battle.
And I guess we can be the official first ones to announce this, but over at Liberty University, he now gets to play with Tom Sox teammate Tristan Dietrich, who will officially, as of a couple of days ago, be a brand new Flame.
And Dietrich had himself a solid outing yesterday in the win over Covington, so Liberty's sure gonna love that performance that they saw yesterday from the big lefty out of Phoenixville, PA. Crater behind 3-1 here to clean up man Jaffe. In the windup he fires. Check swing from Jaffe, appeal down. They'll say he went. So the count runs full at 3-2. Call made down there by our first base umpire, Jason Fracchese. Behind the plate will be Scott Shoemake, and at third, Nathan Hamlet. So full count here in the bottom of the first. Jaffe and Crater. Luke's 3-2 pitch, breaking ball that Jaffe just fights off over towards the softball field to stay alive.
This is now back-to-back days for the Sox getting to work with Nathan Hamlet. He had to come in a pinch hit behind the home plate umpire role last night after an injury to crew chief and home plate umpire Matthew Pearman. So the Sox get to work with Hamlet again here.
3-2 once more, appeal down to first. There won't need to be an appeal as home plate umpire Scott Shoemake will say Jaffe broke the plane for out number 3. And so that'll end the inning as a groan emanates from the Harrisonburg stands. And Turks take the lead 1-0. They don't record a hit in the inning. We'll go to the top of the second and see if the Sox can respond. Welcome back to Eagle Field here in Harrisonburg. The Tom Sox trail the Harrisonburg Turks 1-0 after a great job of Jalen Evans walking and taking 2 bags to put himself in scoring position. As Cannon Fizel delivers to the 4-hole man, Patrick Nias. We'll go through the rest of the lineup for the Sox here in Harrisonburg. Nias playing third, will be batting fourth. Fizel delivers the next pitch to him, breaking ball that misses up high. Anderson French doing the catching duties in the 5 spot. Tanner Shadle at first, batting 6th. Evan Taveras DHing today in the 7. Walker Buchanan out in left 8. Fizel fires a breaking ball. Evans gloves it at second base, fires on to Jaffe at first for out number 1, and at 9, second baseman Lee Sowers.
And a lineup with a whole bunch of turnover over the past couple of days. A scratch from the lineup today in Jackson Soroy. No official update on him just yet. He was wearing a pair of shorts with his jersey during the national anthem. That's all the word we've gotten up here in the booth. So a scratch from Jackson Soroy. Elijah Williams, who got injured 2 days ago, was able to play last night. Didn't have a phenomenal performance and definitely hurt his knee a couple days ago and was feeling it yesterday, feeling it again today. He's a scratch from the lineup as well. And, of course, the aforementioned Preston Gamster, who is done for the season.
1-0 to Anderson French. Golf back up the middle. Evans on the run. A nice play. Fires on the run to Jaffe, and a fine play from Jalen Evans to get Anderson French at first base. Had to range over towards the second base bag and across second base. Made a throw across body to get French at first.
And a solid defensive play made on a very softly hit ball that just kind of got past Fizel on the mound. Hit off the end of the bat. Heard it kind of like a little cue shot sound from French, who was just way ahead of the off speed. Good play by Evans.
Tanner Shadle grounds that one to Jalen Evans for the trifecta on to first. Out number 3. Jalen Evans, all 3 outs made by the Turks second baseman in a very rapid inning for Cannon Fizel. 1, 2, 3 go. The Sox for the second inning in a row. It is 1-0. Turks lead. Clay Thompson due up in the bottom of the second here for the Turks. They lead the Tom Sox 1-0 here in Harrisonburg. As Jeremy Rose just mentioned to me, we have the all-VBL NBA name team, and, well, one of the 2 members
Fortunately,
at the
only
dish.
2 players on this team. However, 2 good players to have on a squad.
Yeah. They could run the court as point guard and shooting guard as the first pitch from Luke Crater misses up high for ball 1.
The other one, of course, is Donovan Mitchell, who we will not be seeing. Actually, I think we see him at some point in the next, definitely down the line. I think maybe Monday. Is Monday a Donovan Mitchell game? I think it might be.
I believe Monday's Stanton.
That's not a Donovan Mitchell game. Maybe Tuesday? I feel like we play them at least one more time here down the stretch of the season.
Crater fires a fastball up and in that nearly clipped Thompson. Just managed to dart out of the way, and now a 2-0 count. Thompson firmly in control here. Crater gets the sign, delivers the 2-0 pitch. That fastball misses outside, and 3-0 count now to the flat hole hitter.
We do see them. It is we go to Culpeper on Tuesday, July 22nd. I think I'm calling that game, actually.
You'll be on the call for that
I'm pretty sure I'm on the broadcast for that one.
So 3-0 now here to Thompson. Crater's pitch right down Broadway for strike one.
Crater, so far so good. That one run being the blemish. Just a little too far, a little too many counts where he's working from behind here. Had to work back against Jordan Jaffe as well in that last at-bat. So need to see him be a little bit more active and attacking with those first couple of pitches per at-bat.
Crater home with the 3-1. That's a fastball on the outside half. Thompson doesn't like that call. And the count runs full. This is to reiterate. Last inning, we thought that Jordan Jaffe struck out on a check swing. It was a called strike 3. So Turks not happy with the umpiring so far as Crater drops a breaking ball in the dirt for ball 4, and the second walk of the game issued by Crater put Clay Thompson on first.
Back-to-back innings with leadoff walks. Not how you want to start off both of your first 2 innings. We saw Evans come around to score and be very aggressive on the base pass. We'll see how Clay Thompson goes about it on the bases. He's 8 for 13 on stolen bags this season. So keep an eye out for him on first base, or keep your ears out for all of you guys tuned in.
Thompson gets his lead at first. Crater working out of the stretch now. Fires. Thompson won't go. Crater's first pitch, a fastball. French fires a back pick down to first, but Thompson slides back in safely.
Dangerous play to make out there, but solid throw from French. We saw a combination of both good and bad throws last night from Brock Clayton behind the plate. He had one that sailed into center field and also had a very strong throw down to second, and his hose apparently turned on the sprinklers out in left field as well.
So now 1-0 to Jackson Schraft, the DH. He takes a big hack at that one, but can't connect. And so the count goes to 1-1.
And very far behind that one. Keep attacking with that fastball. Clearly, Schraft was not ready for it.
Crater not even looking over to first at Thompson. He takes off. Crater fires to the plate. French down to second. The throw on a hop hits Thompson and goes into left field. Thompson heading over to third. Luderman sliding out in shallow left. Can't grab it cleanly. Clay Thompson will be at third on an E2 throwing error from Anderson French.
And there's the positives and the negatives. As much as you blame French for the throwing error there, the blame also goes on Crater. That's now, with both batters on base, just an inability to keep a runner on base, and that's something that you've got to kind of iron into your pitching staff, especially down the line. Every game that you play is going to be close. You can't be having guys with, mile-long leads off of first and second base taking bags on you with nobody out. You should not have back-to-back innings with a runner on third and nobody out.
So Crater now ahead 1-2. The pitch to Schraft, a breaking ball blocked by French in the dirt. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, but I don't believe he once looked over at Evans or Thompson.
Didn't see one for either of them. And a combination of that plus not throwing slide step is just begging the batters to run on you, and that's exactly what both of those two guys have done here today.
2-2 even count. Pitch to Schraft. It's a fastball up high to run the count full once more. And Crater's found himself in a lot of full counts early on in this ball game. That's not going to be great for your pitch count.
And Schraft missed 2 weeks of action. His last game before July 15th was played on July 3rd, but he's kind of picked up right where he left off.
Crater fires the 3-2. This one looped into shallow right field. First hit of the game for the Turks is a Jackson Schraft looper that'll bring home Thompson and extend the Turks' lead to 2.
And he keeps it going right there. He had a combination of 5 hits, or he had 5 hits over his last 4 games played since his return. Make that 6 hits now. So a solid return for Jack Schraft, whose batting average was sitting at around 270 when he left, and it's now going to be up over almost 305 here with that hit today.
So now with the runner on first, Crater back to work. Fires in a pitch to Steele Bird, the catcher, that blocked by French down in the dirt. Hard to see in the Tom Sox bullpen out there in right field. Can't really tell if anybody's getting stretched out or loose. You can see some motion, but doesn't appear to be baseball related. 1-0 to Bird, a nice breaking ball that finds its way into the strike zone for the first strike of the at-bat.
0 for 3 on the 16th for Bird against the Sox in their 14-2 loss with a strikeout as well. So not great in his last time out against the Sox. Went 0 for 1 on July 5th against the Sox. Chance to turn it around right here.
Crater's 1-1 pitch, another breaking ball. That one finds the inside corner. Bird, not a big fan of it. Thought he may have tapped his head for an ABS challenge, but we don't have that here in Harrisonburg.
Would be fun to have, though.
Schraff gets his lead off of first. Crater focused solely on Bird at the plate. Comes to the plate with another breaking ball. That one too far inside. And the count now even at 2-2.
For Crater this season, we've seen him go over 2 innings just once. So, as you mentioned, look for motion out in the bullpen.
2-2, and that one appears clipped the bat knob of Steel Bird. So it goes a foul ball, and he'll have to continue fighting in a 2-2 count.
And through 1+ innings, Crater's pitch count already approaching 40. That was pitch number 38 that you just saw, and he has yet to record it out here in inning number 2.
So Schraff to shallow lead at first. Bird at the plate. Crater fires home. That's a ground ball to short. Luderman goes to second. Sowers fields it there, and he'll hold on to it. So a 6-4 fielder's choice retires the first out of the inning for the Turks, and a good job by Luderman to get the lead runner.
Yeah, a soft hit ground ball where Luderman had to range over towards the right, towards his arm side. Kind of only had one play to make over to Sowers at second. Sowers smartly holds off on the throw, had no chance of getting Bird at first.
So now I'll turn it over to the left fielder, Ben Garber. Garber, another newer addition to the Turks squad. He's been a solid one for them this season as Crater fires in a fastball on the inside half for ball 1.
Yeah, Ben Garber been, as you mentioned, a brand new addition to this team, but a welcome addition at that. An average sitting at 400 on the season, 4 hits through 4 games played as a hit in each of the 4 that he's played dating back to July 15th.
1-0 count. Crater's pitch, a nice breaking ball that finds the strike zone to even the count at 1 apiece. Garber, a rising sophomore at the University of Rochester, a native of Las Vegas, Nevada. Viva Las Vegas. 1-1 pitch down in the dirt, blocked by French.
And a great head of bleached blonde hair from Ben Garber as well. Very, very high school baseball senior bleach your hair for the playoffs type of ordeal that Garber's got going on, but he kind of pulls it off.
He's ahead in a 2-1 count here against the Hokie Luke Crater. Here's the pitch. That one a breaking ball up high, make the count 3-1. So 3-1 count now between Garber and Crater. Bird a small lead off of first. He'll hold there. The 3-1 is fouled deep down the right field line, and that one will actually reach into the softball field. So the count now full between the left fielder Garber and the pitcher Crater. Still Bird at first. Turks lead this one 2-0 here in the bottom of the second. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice breaking ball there from Luke Crater. Retires Ben Garber. Now we'll go to the 9-hitter Roman Trinidad.
I like the aggression right there from Crater to come at him with the breaking pitch. Saw him swing through one earlier in the at-bat. Gets him to whiff on one right there.
Now it's Roman Trinidad, guy who hasn't had the best season in the Valley League, batting .191 through 28 games with the Turks. He sees a first pitch down in the dirt from Crater to go ahead on 1-0. Harrisonburg found their first hit of the ball game with Jackson Schraft bringing home Clay Thompson to extend their lead to 2 earlier on this inning. So here's the 1-0 from Crater. Grounded to Luderman at short. He'll flip over to Sowers at second for the out to retire the side. But the Turks extend their lead to 2 here in the bottom of the second. We'll head to the top of the third and see if the Sox can find the hit column on Fizel. Seven, 8, 9 for the Tom Sox here in the top of the third as they try to find a way to beat the monster that is Cannon Fizel. Through 7 innings of work against the Sox, he has allowed 1 hit in 2 games this season. Granted, that Tom Sox team, a very different lineup on opening day to compared to right now. Fizel fires to DH Evan Taveras, who loops that one into center field, coming on as a center fielder Thompson to make the catch for out number 1.
And a quick out number 1. As you just mentioned, Sox still hitless through 7 batters here today. Only 1 hit going the opposite way for Harrisonburg. Obviously, they've pieced together some runs via the walks and some base running. But Charlottesville needs to get the ball rolling here. Left 8 runners on base last night, but picked up 11 hits. And through the course of the doubleheader, had 23 runners left on base to go along with 6 hits in Game 2 and 12 hits in Game 1. So the offense has been there over the past couple of games. It's got to come alive here today against the Harrisonburg team that is going to be hard to both score against and hard to keep off of the scoreboard.
So now it's the left fielder Walker Buchanan batting here in the 8-hole, looking to try and find the base for the Sox for the first time today as he grounds that one back up the middle, and Walker Buchanan will reach base with a single here in the top of the third. The first base runner and first hit for the Sox goes to the former Who, Walker Buchanan.
Yeah, Buchanan, good piece of hitting there. Been pretty hot over the past couple of days, all things considered for Walker Buchanan. He's been a good sight to see. Good to see him finally getting himself back into the rhythm that, we all knew that he could get into. And now that he's finally brought himself in, it's been, like I just mentioned, pretty good to see.
Now it's the man who was the hero of the second leg of the doubleheader on Thursday, Lee Sowers. Walked it off in the 10th inning with an RBI single. Takes a first pitch from Fizel that misses on the outside half. Talk about Lee Sowers. You have to talk about the on base. You talk about the fielding. You talk about a lot of things with Lee Sowers, and he's a guy that plays the game the right way.
Yeah, and an OPS that kind of leads the active roster, and the majority of that is via the walk. 19 walks on the season. For reference, the guy in first place on the Tom Sox, I believe, should still be Jackson Soroy with his 20 walks on the year. Let me confirm that. He's got 19 in the book here, but pretty sure we have him down for 20 walks. Sowers has done it in about 10 less games.
So Sowers now in a 1-1 count against Fizel. That pitch tapped down the third base line. Perez going to have to make a nice play over to first, and Jaffe came off the bag. So Lee Sowers works an infield single. Not the hardest hit ball, but now the Sox are starting to find their groove with 2 runners on base here in the top of the third.
Number 17, Barry Hargan.
And mentioning Walker Buchanan's last at-bat, saying how he's been hot lately over his past now 6 games. He's collected now 6 hits. So Buchanan coming into stride after a pretty rough start for him dating back to the start of the season, coming into form come playoff time.
That lineup turns back over to the top with Perry Hargett. Hargett loops that one over to first. Sowers didn't get the best read on it, but Jaffield just taking himself to first and won't make it through to second. So a little bit lucky there for the Sox. That one could have been a double play, but good read from Sowers to get his way to second. And now runners on second and third for Kyle Langley, which is the guy you want to have in this spot with runners on base.
Yeah, Kyle Langley kind of been the runners on base guy for the Sox. Picked up a pair of RBIs last night in his efforts, and through the course of that doubleheader the other day, picked up another pair of RBIs. So the guy you want here in this spot.
First pitch to Langley, a fastball that misses up high and outside. So Kyle probably feels at home in that batter's box, his home stadium. He's hit home runs here before, Jeremy. I don't want to put anything into thought, but very comfortable here at Eagle Field. 1-0 pitch from Fizel is a breaking ball that he taps over to Evans at second, plays it on a hop. 4-3 ground out for Kyle Langley to retire the side. So the Sox create some traffic, but they stray in two here in the top of the third. And nice job by Kenan Fizel to work out of the trouble. 2-0 after 2.5 here from Harrisonburg. Luke Crater looking to go over 2 innings for the second time this season here at Harrisonburg as the Sox trail the Turks 2-0. Crater will have to face the top of the order for Harrisonburg as Jalen Evans digs in after working his way around the bases via a walk and 2 stolen bases and being brought home by a Josiah Seguin RBI groundout.
Yeah, Evans, not the guy you want on base, not the guy you want to lead off the inning. Back-to-back innings with a leadoff walk given up by Luke Crater on the mound. So, got to attack Jalen Evans here. If you give up a base hit, you give up a base hit, but you've got to at least challenge him at the plate.
First pitch from Crater to Evans, and that one plunks him. So, instead of taking 4 pitches, it'll take 1, and Jalen Evans will find himself on first base. Leadoff hit by pitch.
And, yeah, like you just mentioned, not gonna challenge him, just gonna hit him with the first pitch. And pitch number 48 for Luke Crater right there. Don't see any official movement yet, still out in that bullpen. The Sox obviously short on arms after having played 3 games over the past 2 days and been playing baseball now and consecutive days dating back to Wednesday, and they'll continue to play games all the way through Wednesday. That'll culminate with the doubleheader against Covington.
First pitch, Evans goes. French fires down to second. The throw, not in time. So stolen bag number 28 for Jalen Evans puts him right in scoring position for the meat of the order for Harrisonburg.
And same exact situation right there. No look back from Luke Crater on the mound. No change up, no change in his timing. First pitch that Evans sees at second base, he swipes the bag with absolute ease. A pitch out's not going to save you if you're Luke Crater on the mound. You've got to do a better job of holding him on base.
Crater now staring Evans down. He won't break for third as this pitch misses outside to make the count 2-0 to Jose Perez. A very dangerous spot for one of the best hitters in this Harrisonburg lineup. Evans won't go. He threatened it as Perez grounds that one into right. Evans will take a turn around third, but he'll hold up. Throw from Hargett cut off by Shadle. So now runners on the corners for the Turks with Josiah Seguin at the dish.
And kind of a bad piece of base running from Jalen Evans right there on that play. He, I think, assumed that that one was going to be collected by Lee Sowers, whether or not Perez was safe or not, and took a pretty lackadaisical jog over to third base. Had he been running hard, that one gets into the outfield. Hit pretty softly. Hargett's going to have to come up throwing and make a perfect throw to get the speedy Evans out at home. See if it comes back to bite the Turks, but still nobody out, runners on the corners.
Anderson French delivered the defensive play. As Perez takes a short lead off of first, held on by Shadle. Crater fires over to check Perez. It's not in time.
Perez, no stolen bases recorded yet for Harrisonburg this season. Picked up 15 combined through the last 2 years at the collegiate level.
So now Seguin batting from the left side. Lines that one to short. It's dropped. But the umpire will call an out as Luderman tried to come in and catch it on the fly. Couldn't make the catch. Went to second. Seguin never left the box, but the umpire will rule it dropped and call the play dead, allowing Perez to stay alive. And just a wild play.
An attempt at a good defensive play from Hudson Luderman right there. Tried to do the intentional drop the ball in the air to turn the double play and didn't sell it hard enough as he had to kind of come at it at a weird angle to keep it in front of him. So it'll just be the fly out.
This one grounded back up the middle. Luderman flipped to Sowers, the throw to first, and they won't need a line drive double play as Hudson Luderman and Lee Sowers go 6-4-3, turn a double play for the Sox to get him out of the inning and avoid the Turks' threat. That's it for the third inning. We'll head to the fourth. The score, 2-0. So after some masterful defense last half inning, Hudson Luderman will get his chance on the offensive side of things here in the top of the fourth, trailing 2-0 to the Harrisonburg Turks. Luderman digs in, still having to work against Cannon Fizel. Fizel fires in a first pitch. Fastball grounded down the third base line, but it digs just a little bit to the left of the third base bag and foul.
Would have liked to see an effort from Randy Tomlin there. Got to make a play for that ball. He had a play to be made a couple days ago here, and actually muffed the ground ball and his son and assistant pitching coach Coy Tomlin was none too pleased and truly let Randy hear it.
Well, that's Coy, always bringing the laughs and the smiles. Great part of the Tom Sox organization as Luderman rips that one, and Randy had no play. That one also goes foul, but that one might have taken his hand off had he tried to catch it.
Yeah, that one would have been a little bit more difficult of a play to make. If I'm Randy Tomlin with Hudson Luderman at the plate, I'm basically just going to go stand in the Harrisonburg dugout. I think that's the best place to coach third, with him up to the plate, because Randy's in the danger zone no matter where he's standing, as long as he is on the field of play.
So 1-2 count. Hudson Luderman, Fizel from the wind, he fires, and Luderman blasts that one foul. He's going to get on over to the practice field to our left.
And had we been at home, that one would have maybe made it to the Hudson Luderman grandstands, which is my nickname for Charlottesville High School, which sits to the third base pole side for Hudson Luderman of Cho Airport Field. And Hudson Luderman loves to hit baseballs towards his own grandstands.
1-2 once more, and Fizel misses with a breaking ball up high. He should be very careful to avoid missing with the breaking ball, because if Luderman can catch something over the heart of the plate, we might see it hit one of those homes out in left field. So here's the 2-2. Breaking ball. Luderman gets the hanging breaking ball, but just a little bit off of it, and he flies it out to left where it's caught by Garber for out number 1.
Yeah, saw the hanging breaker that he was looking for. Just kind of had his body too far out in front of it, had to throw his hands at it just to put it into play, and I think was trying to foul that one off, and instead out in the air towards left it goes to Garber, who handles it with ease.
Now Patrick Neas. Didn't really talk much about Neas's
talk about a guy who loves this field. It's Patrick
season.
Neas.
We should talk about it. Neas played in the All-Star game, played in the Home Run Derby, had a couple homers, and homered in his last game here at Eagle Field. He takes a first pitch strike from Fizel.
Yeah, nobody loves hitting the baseball in this field better than Patrick Neas does. Maybe Kyle Langley might be the only exception. Guy who, of course, plays here year-round.
Neas takes a big hack at the fastball, and he's a little behind for strike 2.
But in talks with Patrick Neas following that game, he expressed how much he liked playing here and how well the Home Run Derby really set him up for success in that last game.
0-2 to Neas. He grounds that one back up the middle. Evans will play it on a short hop, nonchalant over to first for out number 2. So Neas goes 4-3 on the putout. Turn it over to Anderson French.
It's now 5 putouts on the day for Jalen Evans at second base. All 3 of them in the second inning. That's Pat Neas' second 4-3 putout of the day, and had one to end the third inning from Kyle Langley as well. Up to 5 now. We'll see just how many he can collect through the 9 innings here at Eagle Field.
So now French and Fizel do battle. That breaking ball misses outside for ball 1. Anderson French, a guy that a lot of people were excited to have in Charlottesville. Obviously played on the Cape Cod League we mentioned earlier. Contributor for the Hokies in his freshman year. Played 41 games for Virginia Tech. 247 batting average. Split between first base and the catcher position. He'll do mostly catching duties here at Seville. So here's a 2-0 pitch from Fizel. That one down in the dirt for ball 3.
Big guy, big frame in Anderson French, who I think we're all just kind of waiting for him to finally click and get things going, maybe separate himself from both Brock Clayton and Tavares behind the plate.
3-0 from Fizel, and that one clips the zone. I vividly remember on the bus trip to Purcellville the first day that Anderson French arrived at the team, one of the players in an Australian accent remarked, "Who is this bloke? He's huge." And that's the impression you get of French as he works a walk there on 5 pitches. Put himself at first for Tanner Shadle.
And just a large guy who manages to squat down and do some good work behind the plate, but definitely a big figure, 6'5", 210, and a huge bloke indeed.
So now the team leader in homers, Tanner Shadle, collected his 3rd homer in the loss game 1 against Culpeper on Thursday night.
And a ball he absolutely hammered halfway up the hill beyond left field at Cho Airport Field.
First pitch from Fizel to Shadle, misses outside. Noticed earlier there was someone throwing in the Turks bullpen. They seem to have sat down for now, maybe getting ready to go into the game, or might not be entering the game at all. Here's Fizel's 1-1 to Shadle. That also misses outside for ball 2. This is a bit of uncharted territory for Fizel. Hasn't pitched in a long while, so maybe the Turks keep a relatively short leash on him due to some rust.
Just at 46 pitches now in the day. This will be 47 that we'll see from him.
2-0 to Shadle up high. 3-0 count. Bird's going to take a walk out to talk to his pitcher.
Yeah, we're still seeing majority strikes from Fizel. 26 strikes to now 21 balls on the day with that last one right there. The majority of those balls coming in the last 2 at-bats between both Shadle and Anderson French, who now stands aboard on first base. So maybe just losing his touch a little bit. Of course, he hasn't pitched in a month, almost. So still no motion out in that bullpen. They'll ride their guy through at least the end of this inning and potentially one more.
So Shadle ahead 3-0. Evan Tavares waiting on deck. French at first. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That one finds the strike zone. A heater there from Fizel.
See how much both pitchers attack that outside part of the zone. It's kind of gone both ways so far today.
3-1 now. Shadle, a hard grounder over to third. Perez knocks it towards Seguin, who can't get it. Anderson French got a great read as that ball sailed into left field. He'll be at third. Runners on the corners there from the single with Tanner Shadle.
And a hard hit ground ball combined with great base running from Anderson French, who got himself over to second base, saw it kick off of the glove of Perez at third and get past the glove of Seguin, who was running over to back him up from the shortstop position. Gives him an easy lane over to third, and those long strides from Anderson French get him there with ease.
Now Evan Tavares with runners on the corners, and we'll be interested to see what Randy Tomlin and co. will do with Tanner Shadle. Not the biggest threat on the base paths, but could be advantageous to try and get him in motion to second.
Yeah, no stolen bases on the year for him here, and no stolen bases or attempts at ODU this past season.
Beautiful first pitch breaking ball from Fizel, splits the zone. He'll move ahead at Tavares 0-1. Not too crazy of a lead from Shadle at first. 0-1 from Fizel. That one misses. French gets a great read. He's headed to the plate and he'll score. So Anderson French cuts the lead in half for the Turks. A 1-2 ball game on the wild pitch.
Once again, another play of great base running right there from Anderson French. Not a hard read to make, but still have to be decisive on your jump. Gets a great jump, and now a runner in scoring position and a chance for the Sox to tie it up with an Evan Tavares RBI base hit right here.
Out of the stretch, the 1-1 pitch. Can't catch the outside corner, and so now 2-1 to Tavares.
Tavares, the night off yesterday, played in that doubleheader for the Sox. Now gets the call once more right here.
2-1 now. Another nice breaking ball from Fizel. Hasn't had the fastball this inning, but breaking ball's been almost perfect for Cannon. Now 2's wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The runner on second. Fizel rears back and fires, and that one popped up back behind first base. Evans is out there nonchalantly, makes the catch almost as if that one was easy, and that'll send the Tom Sox down. 2-1 the score after 3.5 here from Harrisonburg. Turks lead. Tom Sox cut the Turks lead in half, top of the fourth, but now Harrisonburg look to try and build on their one-run lead here with Clay Thompson at the dish. Crater delivers a first pitch fastball that finds the strike zone to make it an 0-1 count. Crater looking for a season high in innings here. He's in the fourth inning as Thompson blasts that one into left field. Buchanan back at the wall. He makes the catch. So a very long out gives Luke Crater a new season high in innings with 3 1/3.
Great piece right there from Clay Thompson, who, with the 6'1", 205 build, had 7 home runs at the JUCO level for Pasco Hernando this past season. 5 here for the Turks, playing most of his games in one of the deeper ballparks in the Valley Baseball League. Almost had number 6 right there.
It's no surprise to see why former Tom Sox head coach Lyndon Coleman loves Clay Thompson and had him at Pasco, as Crater delivers a first pitch breaking ball that misses to the DH Jackson Schraft. Crater doesn't like that baseball. He'll chuck it away and get a new one to do battle with Schraft.
Fun piece of baseball trivia. You know how many stitches are on a baseball?
I do not, Jeremy.
108. Or as Coy Tomlin would like to say, Yankees.
Next pitch, Schraft misses down low for ball 2.
Picked that up during trivia the other night at the show. And a very excited Coy Tomlin responded with Yankees when asked, how many stitches on a baseball? The number is 108.
He's just upset about Aaron Boone. That's okay.
And always seems to be.
2-0 to Schraft, swung over top for strike 1.
And welcome to the club, truly, Coy. I have those days as well. Now, do I think Joe Girardi should come back? Probably not. But
Coy might be the biggest Joe Girardi fan I've ever met personally, and I've seen him manage for the Phillies, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Joe Girardi.
Might be the biggest fan since, I guess, the Steinbrenner family. Joe Torre, probably a pretty big fan of Joe Girardi. Girardi's great on the broadcast as well, actually, in his color role that he does now. But I think his managing days are over in the MLB.
Well, you have to mention the fact that the Phillies went to the World Series and had one of the best stretches they've ever had after he got fired. That might just do it in for him, as the 3-1-2 Jackson Schraft is launched up into the air in center. But in right center, Hargett will call off Langley to make the catch for out number 2.
And the Yankees actually did the same thing. After Girardi was gone in 2017, they have been pretty solid since then. But Girardi did have his glory days, led the Yankees to that World Series. So we'll always love Joe Girardi for what he did. Maybe not as much as Coy Tomlin, but I'm a big fan of Randy Tomlin and his managing, though.
Absolutely. Made the right decision in keeping Luke Crater in here as he looks to complete a 4th inning of work. Delivers a first pitch to Steel Bird in the dirt for ball 1.
Say made the good choice and proceeds to throw a 54-footer that just made it to the circle around home plate.
If you counted pitches on a bounce, that would be a strike. Good note of that one, Jeremy. Here's the 1-0 to Bird, and that fastball misses outside for ball 2. Pretty crowded house tonight here in Harrisonburg. A solid group of folks on hand to watch the Turks and the Sox do battle.
Yeah, a solid crowd for a nice little Saturday night where the weather finally cleared up. Gave you something to do.
2-0 to Bird, clips the inside corner for strike 1, and I can see Coach Coy Tomlin sipping on a Fanta right now, one of his drinks of choice. He loves his Mountain Dews, his Mellow Yellows, and Fantas. That's the big 3 for Coy Tomlin.
Might actually be a squeeze. It's like an orange squeeze, which is the that off-brand Fanta.
2-1 now to Bird. Called strike to even the count at 2 apiece.
Nobody's happier than Coy Tomlin at a baseball game once he's sitting down with a beverage. Trying to see what it looks like. Some French fries here today. Yeah, it looks like a nice little collection of French fries, maybe a hamburger as well. He's got 2 of those orange crushes.
Well, speaking of 2 strikes to Steel Bird as Crater drops another breaking ball that'll bounce past Anderson French to make the count full. So here in the bottom of the 4th, Crater looking to work a 1-2-3 inning. and give the Sox the chance to carry momentum from the top of the fourth. It's full count offering. It's flied out to shallow left. Luderman going back in shallow left. He calls off everybody and makes the catch to put the Turks down 1-2-3. So a good job by Luke Crater, setting a new season high in innings, keeping the Turks off the scoreboard in the bottom of the fourth. We'll head to the fifth inning, the score 2-1. So the man who recorded the first hit of the game for the Tom Sox, Walker Buchanan, digs in here in the top of the fifth inning. We'll see what he can do. As Fizel still working on the mound, and Buchanan grounds that one softly back to Cannon, who nonchalantly flips it over to first for out number one.
Are we still going to talk about your off-the-record statement?
We're not going to mention my off-the-record statement. We will mention our fellow Tom Sox. I guess you can call him an intern, even though he really isn't an intern. Former Tom Sox pitcher.
Did his time.
Isaac Fix in the game for the Williamsport Crosscutters over in the MLB draft. We'll keep you updated on how he's doing, as Isaac's a good personal friend of both of ours and
absolutely
a good friend of the Tom Sox organization.
Put in his time here for the Sox. Played for Waynesboro as well in the 2023 summer.
And Strasburg.
Sorry, it was Strasburg, not Waynesboro, where he played. So, an Express member along with playing for the Sox.
Lee Sowers quickly ahead 2-0 here against Fizel, who wanted that pitch to go but didn't get it.
Williamsport down in a 4-3 hole right now in the top of the sixth inning.
Sowers grounds that one over to third. Jose Perez, a nice sliding stab throw over to Jaffe at first in time, and another fine defensive play from this Turks infield unit denies Lee Sowers of a hit.
And a solid play from Perez, who I think made that look a lot harder than he needed to make it look. On a ball to his left, he slid down to pick it on a pretty high hop that he probably could have made a relatively, easy day-to-day play that you would make if he stayed on his feet. Instead, went the flashy route. Still made the play regardless to put Sowers out for out number two. Sorry.
So now Perry Hargett on the day 0 for 2. Already behind 0-1. Takes another fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. So Fizel looking to end this one quickly. Another fastball up high, but Hargett spits on it. Or spits up at it, I guess I should say, it being a high pitch. Now 1-2. Fizel fires again. Hargett grounds this one over to Evans at second, who's been a busy man today. Fires on Jaffe at first to end the inning. So Tom Sox can't find the board after scoring one last inning. 2-1 the score here after 4.5. I'll turn it over to Jeremy Rose to take you the rest of the way of this ball game. 2-1 the score here.
Ben Garber to lead off here in the bottom of the 5th inning from Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park here on the campus of James Madison University. If you guys are just joining us, I'm Jeremy Rose, joined alongside Luke Stefanisco. The Sox Sox are down in a 2-1 deficit, out hitting the Turks 3-2, but down 2-1 on the scoreboard. Luke Crater still in the game for the Sox, set a new career high last inning with his 4 complete innings pitch, and he's now back in here for the 5th and fires a first pitch strike in there to the 8-hole hitter Ben Garber. It'll be Garber, Roman Trinidad, then back to the top of the order with Jalen Evans in the 3 spot this frame. The 0-1 offering, a check swing. They'll say he went around. Garber now down in an 0-2 hole.
Garber didn't like that call, thought he held back, but looked pretty clear to me he broke the plane. And he'll find himself in a pretty big hole here against Crater, who's been really solid since the early struggle he faced.
A hole against Crater. There you go. Way to make it work.
Maybe say a Crater against Crater.
A Crater against Crater. The ready on the 0-2 pitch, throws that curveball in there, but it misses just upstairs for ball 1. Some action out in that Tom Sox bullpen. And it'll be the left-handed pitcher, Caden Harris, getting loose for the Sox. We'll see when Randy Tomlin decides to turn to him. Has yet to make a mound visit out here. And the 1-2 pitch spiked into the backstop. It goes. We'll go even at 2-2.
This is a spot where you don't want to lose a guy like Garber. Lower in the lineup. You want to try and work here. If you end up losing him and walking him, I think Randy Tomlin's going to pull the plug on this outing. So I think if you're Luke Crater, you want to stay in this ball game. You want to try and make a nice pitch here on 2-2 to get Garber out.
Garber had a hot start so far to his season here in Harrisonburg. The 2-2 pitch into him upstairs again, but now we're going to run full. Crater ahead 0-2, and now puts himself in his own crater. And we've got a full count. For a little update on the Isaac Fix situation, there are runners on the corners with 2 outs and an 0-1 count. Fix gave up a leadoff double and has worked a pair of outs since then, along with a walk. And strike 3 called right there as Luke Crater puts the off speed on the inside. Garber goes down looking for his 2nd strikeout of the day, and now Roman Trinidad up to the plate.
There's the breaking ball that Crater's used to success today, and that was a particularly nice one, kind of high and tight, which I think Garber laid off of because of the location, but it was a perfect pitch to find the zone and get the out.
We're going to get a little mound visit right here from Randy Tomlin, and that might have been the hook either way for Luke Crater, who has gone through now 4 1/3, thrown 72 pitches, 36 balls, and 36 strikes. Tomlin out on the mound to converse with him now. A lefty and Roman Trinidad at the plate, but then it's righty-righty switch with Jalen Evans, Jose Perez, and Josiah Seguin, the switch-hitting shortstop. And they're going to stick with Luke Crater right here, who's going to try to attack against the bottom of the order and the left-hander of Roman Trinidad, who's 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice here today. And not a phenomenal season for Roman Trinidad, just an average now underneath the Mendoza line. Only 7 RBIs for him, 13 hits on the season, and a 190 or so average. So the Sox will stick with Crater, who's, with the exception of really holding runners on base, the only blemishes he's had has been a pair of softly hit singles and a pair of walks, maybe a trio of walks given up. The first pitch into Trinidad, way upstairs and out for ball 1.
The issue with the walks is it's Jalen Evans, a guy you don't want to let get on base via the free pass. You want to make him beat you on the ground or through the air, finding a way to get him out in play without just giving him a free pass to first.
He awaits on deck. The 1-0 pitch fouled away towards the left side. The broken glass sound on that one actually did sound pretty close to a car. It was, of course, just their sound system here. But now a 1-1 count. 1 down here, righty on lefty matchup. Crater's 1-1 pitch on the outside for a called strike. He's ahead 1-2. Presumably the Sox will let him throw to at least the next 2 batters, with Trinidad at the plate, Jalen Evans awaiting on deck, and the lefty Caden Harris warming up in the bullpen. See if the Sox stick with the situational baseball. Crater first has to deal with Trinidad before Evans awaits. The 1-2 pitch, the off speed just downstairs. Trinidad does not chase, even at 2-2.
That was a good pitch, especially on a 1-2 count. You know, you want to protect as a hitter there, and I think Trinidad considered swinging at that one, but his body rejected it, and he held back with his hands, so a good job there from the batter.
Even at 2-2, 1 gone here. Bottom 5, the 2-2 pitch up and out. We're going to see another full count right here. And that's kind of been maybe a third issue for Crater on the mound today, has just been that pitch count that's getting pretty high up there. That was pitch number 75 through 4 1/3. But with 75 pitches through 4 1/3, he's only given up 2 runs and 2 hits. So a solid outing, even though that pitch count's high. The 3-2 tries to go with the off-speed pitch on the outside. Got the call last at bat against Ben Garber. Doesn't get the call right here against Roman Trinidad. That'll be ball 4 to put Trinidad on base with Jalen Evans at the plate.
Yeah, both Randy Talman and Anderson French wanted to know where that pitch missed. Very similar spot to the last one. This one, however, to a lefty, which maybe changed the view in the home plate umpire Scott Shoemake's eyes that it wasn't a strike compared to the righty and Garber against the lefty Trinidad.
And that pitch to Garber on the right side, he froze instead of kind of getting out of the way, meaning it might have hit that corner. Missing on the outside as Trinidad takes off on the first pitch. It's spiked. The throw down is also spiked. Trinidad will be there in time. That's another stolen base given up by Luke Crater. Stolen bag number 5 of the day for the Turks offensively.
And they are dangerous on the base paths. They use it to their advantage, and they create runs just on the base paths themselves. Again, look at the first inning. Josiah Seguin didn't hit that baseball all that hard, but it created a run because he had a guy in scoring position via the stolen base.
So now runner on second base, a 1-0 count. That one's on the ground towards short. Luderman's going to go to second base. The throw gets away from Lee Sowers. Trinidad was off the bag. Luderman tried to make the play, and instead both runners will be safe and advance up to second and third respectively. So now 1 out after Hudson Luderman's throw gets away. Tried to make the play to go behind Trinidad at second, and instead threw the ball where it ended up down the first baseline. And after that error, it's going to be the hose on Luke Crater, who's obviously upset with the situation, knowing he had the easy out there. That would have made it 2 outs on the inning. And with Randy Talman coming out for the second time this inning, that's going to be the end of the line for Luke Crater, who through 4 1/3 had only given up 2 hits, gave up a walk, a stolen base, and then a defensive error that put runners on second and third. He'll be responsible for both of the 2 runners on base. With Caden Harris coming in, we'll be back when Harris is done with his warm-ups. Caden Harris now back into the game for the Tom Sox. He comes in relief of Luke Crater, who threw 4 1/3 innings, is responsible for the runners on second and third, who reached and advanced via an error from Hudson Luderman at shortstop as he tried to go back behind Roman Trinidad at second base and instead threw the ball into the outfield, allowing Trinidad to advance to third and Jalen Evans, the batter, to advance to second base. He's in a 1-0 hole here against a 2-hole in Jose Perez. The 1-0 pitch, a called strike on the inside. We're even at 1-1.
And to go back to the Luderman play, I think it's just inexperience at a position. That's a play you should not attempt to make. You should take the out at first base, get the second out of the inning, and he walked Trinidad back to the bag.
The 1-1 pitch into left field. Coming in is Walker Buchanan. He'll make the play, tagging up as Trinidad. The throw will instead go to the cutoff man, so a sacrifice fly extends the lead to 2. Harrisonburg now leads 3-1 with 2 gone here in the top of the 6th.
And that was a good job by Buchanan. I didn't think he was going to get to that ball. It kind of hung up in the air for him. And now Josiah Seguin gets a chance to bring in Jalen Evans from second. That run will go unearned against Luke Crater. They're going to make sure that Trinidad tagged, and call from the officials won't go the Sox way, so the score will stay 3-1.
So a sacrifice fly. And for those of you guys keeping the book, that last play was ruled a 4-6 fielder's choice with an E6. Jalen Evans takes off on the first pitch, not even going to be a throw down. For Jalen Evans, that's stolen bag number 4 of the day, as he is running all over the Sox. He had a great lead and a great jump on that one, and with 2 gone, not even a throw attempt from French behind the plate. 0-1 pitch in there for a called strike, and now an 0-2 hole right here for Josiah Seguin.
Jeremy, Jalen Evans, a lot like our roommate. That's the 4th bag he's stolen. That's probably similar to a roommate stealing 4 of your items.
The count might be at least 4. The 0-2 from Harris, tapped in front of home plate. Picked up in foul territory from Anderson French. So we'll see another 0-2. French got out from his crouched position behind home plate pretty quickly to field that one and snared in foul territory. So Jalen Evans now off of third base after another stolen base for him today. And now we'll get another 0-2 from Caden Harris into center field with some air underneath it. Kyle Langley in his usual spot in the outfield here at JMU will make that play to end the 5th inning. 1 run comes in to score, no hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base for Harrisonburg. To the top of the 6th we go. It's 3-1 Turks. It's the top of the 6th inning in 2-3-4 for the Sox as they now face a 2-run deficit here in Harrisonburg. Cannon Fizel still dealing on the mound for Harrisonburg. He will face Kyle Langley, Hudson Luderman, and Patrick Nias. The first pitch to the lefty, and Kyle Langley misses outside for ball 1.
That'll be Fizel's 63rd pitch season. That is not Fizel, by the way.
We do finally have a new pitcher on the mound for Harrisonburg here today. Hard to get a number with these white numbers on the light blue jerseys.
That is Jason Schiefetz. Schiefetz.
So he will enter here in the 6th inning. And Langley will tap one foul. Now a 2-1 count.
Schiefetz hasn't pitched for the Turks this season. Another JMU guy on this Harrisonburg team. To his teammates, former teammate of Tim Tyler. Did pitch at James Madison. Now he'll pitch at Walters State Community College.
So it's Jason Schiefetz who faces the 2-1 count now against Kyle Langley. That pitch misses outside for ball 3. A favorable count for Kyle Langley, who looks to welcome Schiefetz into this one and provide some offense in his home ballpark. The 3-1 offering on the inside for a called strike. We'll see a full count here in the first at-bat for Schiefetz in this one. So Cannon Fizel will close the door with 5 innings pitched, giving up 3 hits, 1 run that'll go earned. Just 1 walk as there's a ground ball hit to Jalen Evans at second, who collects and fires on to first for his 8th put out of the day. Jalen Evans has been getting his work in at second base after spending a lot of time out in center field over the past couple of weeks. He's now got his 7th 4-3 put out and his 8th put out in total of the day. Had a pop fly to end the 4th inning. A lot of work for Jalen Evans here in this one.
Hard hit ball there for Langley and a solid at-bat. The 3-1 pitch looked like it could have definitely been called a ball, but had to take it to a full count, put a nice piece on it, just unfortunately right at Evans.
It's now Hudson Luderman at the plate. Takes a breaking pitch in there for a called strike 1. Huddy today 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts. So Fizel, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, just 1 walk, and 0 strikeouts. Or excuse me, 1 strikeout to lead off the game against Perry Hargett. Other than that, the Sox put the ball in play against Fizel, a guy who has good strikeout stuff, but has also been able to throw up to 6 innings on at least 1 occasion, and has gone 5 innings on a couple of other occasions here this season. But they pulled the plug on him through 5 and turn it over to Schiefetz, who is now ahead 0-2 on Hudson Luderman. His 0-2 offering golfed into the air to shallow left field. Making the call is Garber. He'll secure that one with 2 hands for out number 2. So Huddy now a trio of flyouts as Schiefetz has left off right where Fizel started it with 2 quick outs. Now Pat Nias up to the plate. He's got a pair of groundouts to Jalen Evans at second. So was a little bit behind the ball from Cannon Fizel. This time he puts it into left field, gets underneath it, and it gets over the head of Garber in left. Nias rounds first, he'll head into second base. The throw cut off by Seguin at short. And that's a 2-out double from Patrick Nias, who continues to lead and pace this team in doubles, extends that right here.
You mentioned earlier how he loves hitting at this field, and that was a good example of that. A pitch there from Schiefetz that kind of hung over the plate. Nias, I think, just missed a homer. Had he gotten a little bit more underneath that, might have been across the wall there. But now it gives Anderson French a chance with runners in scoring position, one of the guys who sparked the 1 run back in the 4th inning.
So double number 9 of the season for Pat Nias comes with 2 outs here, top 6. The Sox still looking to put 2 runs up, down in a 3-1 deficit here. Facing a new arm in Schiefetz, a guy who hasn't thrown it all this season. A brand new face for the Turks. Will fire the 0-1 pitch into French, who swings through it for strike 2. And now Anderson French down in an 0-2 hole.
We'll see how Schiefetz attacks this here. If he'll try to work a waste pitch against French, but I'd be surprised if he challenges him here on 0-2.
Nias off of second base. Anderson French in an 0-2 hole. That 0-2 pitch grounded up the middle. A diving effort from Jalen Evans, who gets there. He'll have no throw, but he saves a run on that one with a diving effort up the middle that holds Pat Nias at third. Now runners on the corners after the infield single from Anderson French.
I mean, it feels as if every time the Tom Sox play here in Harrisonburg, the Turks just pull out some of the greatest defensive plays you'll see in the Valley League. And that one right there, saving a run from Jalen Evans, was phenomenal. He like glided across the infield to dive and make that play and prevented Nias from getting home from second.
Obviously excels at diving to steal bases, going up the middle in that direction towards second base, and does so right there, going up the middle to make the play defensively, and it won't show up on the scorebook as a highlight play. But that play saves a run and keeps the deficit at 2. Tanner Shadle looks to break it back open here. Chops one towards third, handled by Perez. He'll have to throw across the diamond. He does the throw down the line a little bit, but handled by Jordan Jaffe at first to end the 6th inning. So the Sox with 2 outs try to spark a little rally, a pair of base hits, but that's 2 runners stranded on. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Turks still lead by 2. The Sox threatened in the top of the 6th inning but couldn't push a run across. They're out hitting the Turks here 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th, but they're down 3-1 on the scoreboard. A pair of errors have proved detrimental for the Tom Sox, allowing 2 runners to come around to score. And still face that 2-run deficit. Jordan Jaffe up to the plate. He chops the first one to Tanner Shadle at first, who flips it over to Caden Harris, who can't handle it. And now a 3rd error on the Tom Sox defensively. Puts a runner on first base to lead off the frame.
And that's going to go an E1 against Caden Harris there. Shadle made a nice play going back on a tough hop and flipped it over to Harris, who just couldn't corral it. And it is a tough play pitcher to have to go from the mound to first base, but that's when you should make in the 3rd error for the Sox today.
Error number 3 already for the Sox, a team who had cleaned it up defensively and seemed to be kind of losing their way here. That one's bunted on the ground. Harris handles this one. He's going to have to make a quick throw. Throws on to first base, but it's not in time. The bunt down the 3rd baseline. The lefty Caden Harris having to turn his body to both make the play and make the throw. So a bunt single from Clay Thompson puts runners on first and second with nobody out. And that'll bring up Jackson Schraft, who's 1 for 2 on the day.
And the Turks taking advantage of the defense of Caden Harris. They knew the lefty'd have a tough time with the bunt down the 3rd base line, and Clay Thompson hustling out of the box beats that throw out, and now Harrisonburg threatening here.
Thompson, a guy known more for his power than his speed, but definitely can get it done on the base paths. 8 stolen bags on the year. Legs out. The bunt single here. Squaring to bunt is Schraft. He gets this one down to Harris once more, who has to make another throw across, and that throw yet again not in time to first base. So that's now the bases loaded with nobody out, without a ball leaving the infield. A pair of bunt singles down the 3rd base line, and a Caden Harris error on a play that he should have made coming over to first base. A Tanner Shadle flip that was unable to be handled now loads the bags for Steel Bird.
Well, do you bunt again, Jeremy?
You might as well. It's worked out so far. We'll see what Bird can do here. The first pitch downstairs gets underneath Anderson French, who collects it. And that'll be ball one here. So some small ball disaster for the Sox defensively has put all the ducks on the pond here with Steel Bird at the plate, who seems due for something right here against the Sox. 0 for 2 today with the fielder's choice and a fly out to Luderman. We'll take it upstairs for ball 2.
Yeah, and Harris, you have to challenge here. You can't walk in a run, especially with the guys behind Bird and Garber and Trinidad, who are capable of bringing in more than just run with the hit.
Lefty on righty matchup. Caden Harris's 2-0 pitch swung on and missed from Steel Bird. It was a little bit out ahead of the changeup there. Jaffe off of third, Thompson off of second, Schraft off of first, Steel Bird at the plate, Ben Garber awaits on deck. No outs here, bottom 6, a 2-run lead for the Turks. The 2-1 pitch line straight back.
Good job of Harris battling back in this at-bat. I mean, falling behind 2-0, not the best spot for anyone, but he managed to battle back, and now a 2-2 count. Looking to strike Bird out here and create a double play opportunity to get out of the inning.
Had a 4-pitch mix of a fastball, a curveball, a slider, and a changeup. Assuming he's still working with those here. The 2-2 pitch just outside will run full. Nowhere to put Steel Bird here. With the bases juiced, gonna have to make a challenge pitch right here. Both Harris and Bird know that. See how much aggression he comes out with here. Bases loaded. The 3-2 pitch from Caden Harris misses upstairs. That's gonna walk in a run. As the bases stay loaded here with nobody out, and it's now a 3-run lead in favor of the Turks. They're up 4-1. So Harris sticking it out on the mound. Tomlin stays in the dugout. Won't have a conversation with his young left-handed pitcher just yet, who will face Ben Garber. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging and 1 looking. First pitch to him upstairs for ball 1. An RBI walk for Steel Bird. Keeps the bases loaded. A 1-0 count now from Harris to Ben Garber. Another pitch that misses upstairs. Randy Tomlin on the edge of the dugout. Will he call time here to talk it over with his pitcher? And it looks like he will. French calls time from behind the plate. The infield will come in to meet with Caden Harris and discuss some things over on the mound. Unsure if there's any true motion out in that bullpen. I haven't seen anybody really start to throw. Some guys moving around out there, but nobody making consistent pitches just yet.
Yeah, and Harris, you have to buckle down here. You had a chance in a 2-2 count to make your pitch and get your out, but he ended up walking the last batter and Bird. And now you're facing Garber, who's been solid so far this season, although today 2 strikeouts. Maybe the guy you want to face, but I think 2 strikeouts means he's due for something more.
Tomlin will retreat back to the dugout. French looks like he needs a new piece of equipment in some way, maybe a new guard. He's gonna wipe down his glove, wipe down his elbows to make sure he has, I guess, some grip on the baseball. And returns to his spot behind home plate. The bases still juiced, 1 run in on the inning. Clay Thompson off of third, Jackson Schraft off of second, Steel Bird off of first base, and no ball has left the infield yet this inning. A 2-0 count now to Ben Garber. The pitch misses downstairs this time, now a 3-0 hole. After he missed upstairs with the first 2 pitches before the Randy Tomlin mound visit, misses with ball number 3 down low. Has yet to throw a strike to Ben Garber. His 3-0 offering is going to miss upstairs to walk in yet another run. So back-to-back walks following an error and back-to-back bunt singles brings in run number 5 of the game for the Turks, who now have a commanding 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
One saving grace for Harris here is that Trinidad will have to go lefty-lefty against him, but if he can't find the strike zone, that'll become increasingly easier.
5 straight balls from Caden Harris. We'll have to reset right here. The first pitch to Trinidad is swung on and missed for strike 1.
Dare I say sword, Jeremy?
I would use the word sword, but unfortunately with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, I'm not going to jinx anybody by saying Trinidad put a bad swing on it. Harris ahead 0-1. Still nobody gone on the inning. The 0-1 pitch misses downstairs and inside a touch. We're now even 1-1. There's finally what looks to be some movement out in that bullpen. Another left-hander getting loose. See if we can get a number on it at some point soon. 1-1 count. Harris kicks and fires. That one just misses on the outer half. 2-1. See how fast the Sox get somebody loose out in the bullpen. There's a left-hander throwing. We'll let you know the number at some point, hopefully soon. 2-1 pitch into the air on the infield. Luderman going to range back into the grass a couple of steps to settle underneath it. He'll make the play for out number 1. Caden Harris gets the first out of the inning. The bases stay loaded, and it's now the top of the order in Jalen Evans. All things considered, a kind of best-case scenario right there. Got the pop out. Didn't allow any runners to advance as it stays on the infield. And now some trouble with the leadoff hitter, Jalen Evans, at the plate.
Certainly isn't a prototypical situation for Jalen Evans to have the bases juiced, but see if he can produce here.
First pitch to him, misses downstairs, ball 1. Nod of approval from French behind the plate, meaning he executed his pitch the way he was supposed to. Evans, a smart batter at the plate, lays off of that one. Evans on the year, 26 walks, 30 strikeouts. The next pitch to him upstairs. Now a 2-0 hole for Caden Harris. And with Evans, you don't want him on the base paths, but if you do end up with Evans on the base paths, with the bases loaded, it's kind of the best case scenario, meaning he can't steal any bags. Harris now down 2-0 to the righty. Throws the 2-0 pitch. It's lined just out of play beyond the dugout of the Turks. Now a 2-1 count after a hard hit foul ball.
Yeah, a little bit out in front, I think you could say on that one, but definitely got a solid piece of that, so I'd be wary to throw that pitch again if I was Harris.
Harris not a guy with a ton of velo out of his left hand, but he does a good job to mix up his pitches. And they've got a good amount of movement on him, and that's how he deceives the batters. The 2-1 pitch, way upstairs, ball 3. Now a 3-1 count. Harris now down in a 3-1 hole to Jalen Evans. 1 gone here. In the bottom of the 6th inning, 2 runs already across on the board. The bases are loaded. Shadows playing in the infield grass. The 3-1 pitch in there for called strike 2. And Harris fights back to even this one up. We'll go full.
A very big pitch here that might dictate the rest of this game, depending on the outcome. If Harris can get an out, would be huge, but allowing another run or a couple runs might be detrimental to the Sox.
Harris comes set. His 3-2 offering into Jalen Evans, fouled straight back. We'll see another. The left-hander in the bullpen seems to be ready to roll. Blocked by a fence and a couple of advertisements out beyond the right field wall. Assuming Tomlin will let him roll through this at-bat right here on the edge of the dugout as he watches keenly. The 3-2 pitch once more into Jalen Evans. Swung on and missed. Evans chases the off-speed upstairs. And a big strikeout for out number 2.
That is a huge pitch from Harris there to get Jalen Evans. And now the threat of anything scoring on a weak ground ball or a sacrifice fly, that goes away. You have to just find a way to get an out here, whether it be at the plate or in the field. Really deny the Turks almost anything from this scoring chance.
1 for 2 on the day. 1 for 3 on, 1 for 2 on the day for Jose Perez. He's got a sacrifice fly, single through the right side. The first pitch he sees skies into the air down the third base line. Walker Buchanan can't see the ball, loses it as it goes above the lights. 1 run comes in to score. Another runner rounding third. He'll come home with no throw. And it's a bases clearing double for Jose Perez as Walker Buchanan loses the ball above the lights as dusk begins to set here at Eagle Field. Buchanan couldn't see it,
Coming to the plate, number 15,
and the runners don't stop moving,
Seagley.
and all three come in to score. It's now an 8-1 lead for the Turks here with 2 gone.
That's the first extra base hit of the day for Harrisonburg, and it's just about as bad luck as you can get for the Tom Sox.
Harris executed the pitch that he was looking for as the first one he throws to Josiah Seguin, the 9th batter of the inning, misses upstairs, but made about as good of a pitch as he could, got the result he was looking for, but in the drama of the night sky, it goes above the lights here at JMU. Walker Buchanan loses sight of it, and it's now a double into left field that clears the bases. Harris now in a 2-0 hole against Josiah Seguin. And the Sox might just be out of reach here. Harris gonna have to deal again. Gets a swing and a miss right there from Josiah Seguin on the 2-0. Aggressive lead from Perez at second. No look back from Caden Harris. Perez thought about going on the last pitch. We'll see if he sticks with it again right here, if there's some communication between him and the middle infield. He'll come set his eyes on the catcher. He misses outside, 3-1.
This has just been a wild game and a dare I say, messy game for both sides. I know the Turks have scored 8 runs, but they've done so on 5 hits and haven't been the prettiest of hits.
3 errors today for the Sox. The 3-1 pitch fouled straight back over our heads. Now a full count. First base is open with Perez at second. But a trio of errors for the Sox, and that last play that won't go down as an error, and truly not the fault of Walker Buchanan. Once the ball gets above the lights, you kind of lose it out here in the night sky. Walker Buchanan did just that. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss from Josiah Seguin. So Caden Harris works himself into some trouble. Thought he got out of it with the fly out to left field. Buchanan lost it in the lights, and it turns into a 5 spot for the Turks. They lead 8-1. We'll head to the 7th from Harrisonburg. The Sox now face an 8-1 deficit here at Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park on the campus of James Madison University. It's Evan Taveras to lead off the inning. He swings through that one. First strike, number 1. 5 runs put up last inning, a run put up the inning before by Harrisonburg, who now leads by 7 after an inning that spelled disaster for the Sox. Taveras grounds the first one towards third. Perez will handle it. Fire on to first from across the diamond. The throw gets away from Jaffe up the line. Taveras into second base easily. That ball goes dead. Taveras will be given second base. He was already there, but he'll be given second base as the ball goes out of play. So Taveras aboard on the E5.
And I want to say, I'm not going to be 100% sure on this, Jeremy, but okay. I'll give him second base. I had thought that first base umpire had given him third base, which would have been incorrect because he was rounding first as the ball went out of play.
So Tavares aboard second, not granted third. And it's now Walker Buchanan at the dish. So Tavares reaches via the E5. And he stands now on second base. The Sox have a big deficit now that they're going to have to bring it back up from. The pitch from Buchanan is fouled straight back. Now 1-1. Walker Buchanan, 1 for 2 today, with a single up the middle and a 1-3 ground out. Tavares off of second. Pitch on the outside, a called strike.
You think Walker'd like to have to make up for the, I can't even say mistake because it's a tough baseball play, but he'd like to make up for it right here in this at-bat to at least bring one run back in.
It won't go down as an earned run or as an error either, but nevertheless, not what you're looking for. He does the same thing, this time up into center field. Ranging back is Jalen Evans, who kept his eye on the baseball. He'll make the play in shallow center field for out number 1. Walker Buchanan with the fly out.
Now hitting number 5, Lee Sowers.
It's now up to Lee Sowers here. 1 out, top 7. Sowers 1 for 2 on the day. Had an infield single to third and a ground out to third as well. The first pitch to Sowers on the ground towards the right side. Jalen Evans coming over to make the play. Gets under his glove this time. Tavares did not round the base very hard at third and will be held up there. But Lee Sowers with another softly hit ground ball that gets through the infield. Runners on the corners with 1 gone.
A good chance for the Sox to cut into the lead here, and I think you need something here to try and get momentum back on your side. It hasn't really gone your way this ball game today. You have 6 hits, but you've only been able to scrape across 1 run. This is a spot right here where you can get a couple and try and build for the later innings of this game.
For all of those who are wondering, Isaac Fix is in line for the win right now, if everything holds in Williamsport. Sox looking to work in from a deficit. That one on the ground to Jalen Evans. He'll make the play. He'll get the force out over to second as Sowers had to hold up with that one hit on a line. So it'll be a fielder's choice 4-6 that brings home a run. The Sox now down by 6. Perry Hargett replaces Lee Sowers at first base, and there's now 2 outs on the inning. So the Sox now capitalize on an error and bring home a run. Perry Hargett leads off of first base. Langley will foul the first pitch he sees straight back for strike number 1. So an RBI for Perry Hargett, who is now 0 for 4 on the day. And it's now up to Kyle Langley, who's 0 for 3 on the day. The 0-1 pitch into left field. This time Garber will collect it, squeezes it with both hands for out number 3. The Sox cut into the deficit, though they still are down by a whole lot. It's 8-2 in favor of the Turks as we head to the bottom of the 7th and get a little stretch in right here. 8-2 Turks. After a nice little stretch here in between the top and bottom of the 7th inning, the Turks still lead 8-2, and the Sox will turn over to Nico Janssens for at least the 7th inning of work, maybe more. Luke, what do we have on him?
Well, Nico had a nice bounce-back game in his last appearance against Waynesboro. After 3 straight outings of really not having his best stuff, on the 8th he came through 2 2/3 innings pitched. His first pitch to Jordan Jaffe is fouled away. He struck out 1 batter, walked 2, 3 hits, only allowed 1 run. Kind of bridged the gap for the Sox in a big win over the Generals in a divisional game.
And in the 2 starts that he's had where he's gone at least 2 innings, just a combined 3 runs allowed. His ERA doesn't look all too pretty. His inning count, only 6.1 innings pitched through 6 games. So looking to continue to work back to his form here. We'll fire that one on the outside. Now a 2-1 count as he will face 4-5-6 Jordan Jaffe, Clay Thompson, and Jackson Traft, who led off last inning with an error that allowed Jaffe to reach, then back-to-back bunt singles from Thompson and Traft. We're even at 2-2 after a foul ball from Jaffe. The left-hander Janssens from the windup. His 2-2 delivery spiked in the dirt. Jaffe does not chase. Full count. So for Jaffe today, he's 0 for 3. Struck out looking, grounded into a double play to end the 3rd inning, then led off last inning, reaching via the error. The 3-2 pitch into him, fouled straight back once more. We'll see another full count.
It is the one thing that's plagued Nico this season has been the walks. And when he's managed to keep them at a minimum, he's been very solid. But when they plague him badly.
A 3-2 pitch, fouled straight back yet again. So Jaffe is underneath every single fastball that Janssens is throwing, meaning it seems like every fastball Janssens is throwing has a little bit of rise to it, a little bit of action, a whole lot of spin and movement on it. Janssens again with the 3-2. This time it's on the outside for a called strike 3. Jaffe threw his bat down thinking he had the walk. Instead gets the strikeout looking. His 2nd K of the day, both looking. Janssens retires the first batter he sees.
Yeah, and I'm surprised there wasn't anything discussed from Scott Shoemake about Jordan Jaffe, because that was a very animated disagreement with the call. And typically you usually get a warning for that. We've seen the warnings issued in the first game here at Harrisonburg, but not today.
And I think Jaffe's, the toss bat was more of a thinking it was a ball forward deal than in disgust at the call, but he definitely showed some disgust, did a good job, I guess, according to Shoemake, of keeping it directed towards the dugout and not towards Shoemake himself. The 0-1 pitch swung through for strike 2. Janssens with 2 quick strikes on Clay Thompson.
It's when he gets in these grooves like this at-bat and the final pitch of last at-bat where he looks unhittable. And there are stretches where the walks plague him, and then he becomes the pitcher that's been rough this season for the Sox.
The 0-2 pitch just misses inside with the fastball. Now a 1-2 count.
That was a good miss there from Nico, especially on an 0-2 count. Wasn't really a hittable pitch, but he nearly clipped the zone for strike 3.
Janssens once more working from the windup. His 1-2 on the ground towards short. Hudson Luderman handles the hop. Will make the throw over to first, and he'll be in time to get the speedy Clay Thompson for out number 2. It's 2 up, 2 down for Nico Janssens here, bottom 7. We'll see Jackson Traft up for his 4th at-bat of the day. He's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles, one into right field that just snaked by the glove of Lee Sowers as he kind of let it trickle into the outfield, and a bunt single last inning. We'll face another lefty right here with Janssens. The first pitch to him misses inside. Janssens deals his 1-0. Swung on and missed. Count even 1-1. Janssens in a bit of a groove here through the first 2 batters he's seen. It was hard hit contact, but right at a defender. And now gets another swing and a miss right here from Jackson Traft, and he's ahead 1-2.
I think when he attacks, he's one of the best pitchers in the Valley Baseball League. But when he's tentative, tries to work around the zone, that's where he struggles.
Tries to work low there, get the chase. He won't get the chase. The 2-2 pitch, or the 1-2 pitch misses downstairs. So we're now even up at 2-2. 2 runs on 6 hits and 3 errors for the Sox. 8 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for the Turks. The 2-2 from Nico Janssens into center field. That one's going to get down and get into the gap. Cutting it off is Hargett from right field, who throws into second. Schraft on the run. The throw there in time. The tag on the money. Perry Hargett throws out Jackson Schraft, trying to stretch his single into a double. And a 1-2-3 inning for the Sox. Perry Hargett cuts down the runner. To the top of the 8th we go. The Sox still face a 6-run deficit. It's the top of the 8th inning here from Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park on the campus of James Madison University, where the home Harrisonburg Turks lead 8-2 over the visiting Charlottesville Tom Sox. Thank you guys for joining us on this broadcast. I am Jeremy Rose, joined alongside by Luke Stefanisco. For the top of the 8th inning, it's Hudson Luderman, Patrick Neas, and Anderson French due up for the Sox. A called strike in there to Huddy. It's 0-1. Sheafet's still on the mound. He'll face a duo of righties, then French the lefty. The 0-1 pitch is fouled away. Play is actually made that time by Randy Tomlin. And no noise from Coy in the dugout. Pretty disappointed after a nice one-handed snag made right there by Randy to his arm side. Or actually, I guess it is to his glove side. He's a left-handed pitcher.
I actually don't see Coy anywhere, Jeremy.
Not sure where Coy is. Maybe he's in the dugout, maybe down in the bullpen.
He was sitting down in the first row of bleachers, but now I do not see him.
Unsure where Coy went. Didn't hear him on that one. I'm sure he'd be proud of Randy either way. An 0-2 count now on Huddy. Sheafetz comes and fires that one foul-tipped into the glove for strike number 3. Huddy goes down on 3 pitches for out number 1.
And Sheafetz didn't really waste any time there, attacking Luderman to foul off the second pitch and foul tip the third into the glove of Bird. And good start here to the late inning in the 8th for Sheafetz.
And that's just the second K of the day for the Sox offensively. Struck out to lead off the game, and then that one right there to lead off the 8th inning. So the Sox went 6+ innings without a strikeout, all the way from the 2nd through the 7th inning. And now an 0-1 count on Patrick Neas. The 0-1 pitch into left field. That one's going to get down right in front of Garber in left. And a 1-out single for Patrick Neas as he stays hot. That's now hits in back-to-back ABs, both to left field for Patrick Neas, who just absolutely loves to hit at this ballpark.
Yeah, and that's 2 hard-hit balls in back-to-back at-bats for Neas. That one, again, another breaking ball. He kind of dug that one out as compared to the hanging breaking ball that he saw last time, and just did a good job of placing it where Garber wasn't and getting himself on base to try and pass the baton to French now.
And French, a guy who's had success in back-to-back ABs, had a walk in the 4th and a single in the 6th. Had that single that was on the diving play made by Jalen Evans that kept the run from scoring. And now up with Pat Neas on base once more. Down 0-1. It's been all strikes this inning, and that will continue. Now 0-2 on Anderson French. Luderman went down on 3 straight strikes. Pat Neas saw 2 strikes. Now Anderson French has seen 2. Competitive at-bats from Jason Chiefetz, who's wasting no time and not trying to throw anybody off with any missed pitches. He'll deal the 0-2 to the lefty Anderson French, who swings and misses for strike 3 and out number 2. And it's been all strikes and all gas right here for Jason Chiefetz, who's thrown 8 straight strikes to start out this inning. And he's got 2 strikeouts to work with. So it's now Pat Neas off of first base, and worrisome of being stranded out there, as there's the first ball of the inning from Chiefetz to first baseman Tanner Shadle. Chiefetz from the stretch. Neas off of first. His pitch into Shadle misses outside again, now 2-0. The Sox with 2 down here in the top of the 8th inning. Scrambling for some runs late. Gonna need to truly turn it on over the final inning and a third. The 2-0 pitch fouled straight back. Now 2-1. Luderman struck out to kick off the inning. A Patrick Neas hard hit single into left field with 1 out. Put him on first base. French struck out just last at bat. So now 2 gone here in the top of the 8th, a 2-1 count. And a pickoff attempt to Pat Neas is not in time. Neas back on the dive. Solid pickoff move that we saw right there from Chiefetz. A pretty quick move.
Especially as a righty.
Now the 2-1 pitch to Shadle is cut on and missed. 2-2.
He's impressed me in his first action for the Turks this season. He's kind of navigated some murky waters. I mean, you had the error last inning that really could have, kind of corrupted the inning, but he's worked through it, and 2 strikeouts this inning. He's got good stuff.
He'll fire in the 2-2 pitch to Shadle, chopped on the ground towards the left side. It'll get foul. So quick reset. We'll see a 2-2 count here to Tanner Shadle. Pat Neas off of first base. Chiefetz will fire in his 2-2. Fouled straight back. We'll get another. And in honor of Isaac Fix, his final line on the day, he will toss a very, very efficient 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 5 Ks in his outing. The 2-2 again to Shadle. This one popped up into the air. Will it stay inside the ballpark? Coming over to make the play behind home plate is Steele Bird. He'll snag that one for out number 3. The Sox strand a runner on first. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Charlottesville still looking to come back down 6 right here in Harrisonburg. 7-8-9 due up for Harrisonburg as they look to extend on a 6-run lead. It's 8-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Steel Bird at the plate. Ben Garber to follow. Roman Trinidad in the 9 spot will be due up third this inning. The first pitch from Nico Janssens, who still works on the mound for his second inning, is fouled straight back. An awkward swing right there from Steel Bird on the 0-1. He got a piece of it, but will foul it off. Now 0-2.
This outcome doesn't bode well for the Sox. The score would remain the same in both this game and Waynesboro and Stanton. I do believe Stanton would take back second place in the Valley League South Division.
If both teams do end up tied, as there's a strikeout looking, Nico Janssens retires yet another. But if that does hold true, it's a pretty unfavorable outcome. And will catapult Stanton back into second place if both teams end the season with the same record. Stanton, currently holding the tiebreaker head-to-head, will hold that, or will keep that top spot. These two teams in Stanton and Charlottesville will face off on Monday night, and what could be the decider for that 2 spot this season. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that as we get closer to that Monday night tilt. The 0-1 from Nico Janssens downstairs, ball 1.
As it stands right now, Stanton actually did just score a run here in the bottom of the 6th to make it 4-2, leading over the Generals.
So they're up 4-2. And we'll see if that score does hold. Garber fouls that straight back. Happened a good amount of times with Janssens on the mound. A lot of fouls straight back, meaning his pitch has a whole lot of lift, a whole lot of spin, and a whole lot of movement going up into the zone that gets these batters straight underneath it. His 1-2 offering downstairs for a ball.
And what really hurt the Sox today is the fact that Waynesboro had to forfeit that game we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast. That gave Stanton potential to pick up 2 wins today, to the Sox having to try and fight for 1 to stay in their spot. And if Stanton were to pick up 2 wins, that'd be huge for their case for the bye.
The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Nico Janssens gets another out via the strikeout, his 3rd of the day. And now 2 down here, bottom 8.
Again, Nico is very good when he attacks and when he forces you to feel uncomfortable in the box. And you saw that swing right there. That certainly didn't look like the finest swing at the plate, and it was a beautiful pitch from Nico. He's had a solid outing today.
So now he'll get to face the left-hander Roman Trinidad as a reward for striking out the 2 right-handed batters. The first pitch to Trinidad just misses inside for ball 1. Nico looking to string together a pair of good starts. As we mentioned when he came in, had a great start last time out, 2 2/3, 1 run given up, 3 hits, 2 walks and a K. And he's up to 3 strikeouts in this one. The pitch fouled off of the body of Trinidad. And with only 1 strikeout being his high coming into this start, he's already tallied up 3 through an inning and 2/3 pitched. Just 1 hit given up, and it was a hit that turned into the end of the 7th inning. After Schraft tried to extend his single into a double, Perry Hargett cut him down at second base. The 1-1 pitch misses outside, 2-1.
I'd like to see him attack the lefty here. He's had success against 2 right-handed guys. Why not throw him a pitch to hit and see what he can do with it here in the 2-1?
That 2-1 pitch misses downstairs instead, now 3-1. That fastball working for Janssens, and he kind of has gone away from it in this lefty-lefty matchup. Instead, tried to roll over more with his off-speed stuff. Hasn't worked out so far. The 3-1 pitch way upstairs. There's the fastball, but he couldn't locate it. And that's a 2-out walk for Roman Trinidad. That turns us over to the top of the order in Jalen Evans.
Well, if it is a positive, it will be a righty in Evans. So Janssens has had success against the righties this inning. Maybe he can get Evans out, lest he couldn't get Trinidad out.
Definitely a taller task in Jalen Evans at the plate. So far today, he is 0 for 2. Reached via fielder's choice error in the 5th, struck out in the 6th. Had a walk in the 1st and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. So he's getting pretty close to almost every outcome without having a hit on the board, and has reached base 3 times.
Just the kind of player he is. I think he creates chaos on the base paths and at the plate, and he's done that tonight.
The 0-1 pitch lined out towards center. Kyle Langley settles underneath it to end the frame. So we'll head to the top of the 9th inning. The Tom Sox have a big hill to climb if they want to get themselves back into this one. They're down by 6 to the top of the 9th. We go from Harrisonburg.
No hits.
Chase Davis on to close this one out for Harrisonburg. Not a save situation, but he'll look to shut the door here. A 6-run lead being protected by Davis and the defense. And it's Evan Taveras, Walker Buchanan, and Lee Sowers up. 7-8-9 for the Sox to try to spark this comeback. The first pitch fouled down the third base line.
And Davis on the year. He's pitched in 3 games, started 2 of them for the Turks. 5.2 innings in those 3 games, 3.17 ERA.
A called strike in there to Taveras. On the day for Sheafetz, he goes 3 innings, gives up 4 hits. No walks. And I believe a pair of strikeouts. A check swing from Evan Taveras is a called strike nonetheless. He goes down via the K. The Sox are down to their final 2 outs.
Jeremy, I just got to get this out here because we had the conversation of we didn't think it was Chase Davis warming up because he's listed in point streak as a lefty. That's Chase Davis.
That is, in fact, Chase Davis, so he is listed wrong in the book, but either way, he's out there on the mound. It's number 37, Chase Davis. The first pitch to Walker Buchanan, golfed foul down the third base line and well out of play.
I thought I was losing my mind, Jeremy.
You know what? We had him in there as a left-handed pitcher, and I guess we just haven't seen him to really make that switch over.
Hasn't pitched. Oh, he pitched against the Sox on the 16th.
And we somehow missed him. Maybe we had him in the book wrong because we thought he was the wrong pitcher. Buchanan fouls that one back, now down 0-2.
This baffles me.
And there we go. So it is Jackson Hole, not Chase Davis.
Okay, that makes a little more sense as to why I was losing my mind.
So maybe Jackson Hole, who's normally number 43, here's the 0-2 pitch to Buchanan, fouled back, who's number 43 usually, has actually taken the number of another pitcher. So Jackson Hole, a guy who was kind of bounced around, started at North Carolina A&T, went to Walters State Community College in 2023, spent 2 seasons at JMU as Buchanan skies yet another one, this time into left field. Settling underneath it is Garber. He sees it just barely and secures it for out number 2. The Sox down to their final out. But it was Jackson Hole, a guy who did also come in, I believe, against the Sox. We did see him pitch and spent 2 seasons at JMU, didn't pitch at all this past season, and then he entered the portal just over a month ago.
I love the name of his hometown, Jeremy. Fancy Gap, Virginia.
Fancy Gap, Virginia. It's a population at the 2020 census of like 200 people. I think it's more of a location than, I guess, a city or a town. More of like a regional area, but it's listed on the census as a town of very few people. The 1-0 pitch to Lee Sowers downstairs for ball 2. Sowers represents the last hope for the Sox today, and in very untypical Lee Sowers fashion, he actually doesn't have a walk today and is instead 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. The 2-0 to him is outside, and Sowers 1 pitch away from getting that coveted walk.
I think it is likely Sowers did flip the script of a game and decide to just, I'm going to hit the ball today and hit the ball. That is very Lee Sowers, in my opinion.
Taking some hacks at the plate today, and done so successfully. A 2-hit day for Lee Sowers. The 3-0 pitch to him misses inside, and now Lee Sowers, who had missed his walk today, finally gets the walk here in the top of the 9th inning with the Sox down to their last breath.
You know, it's almost like, you know, a dentist asked if you brush your teeth today. Did Lee Sowers get his walk today? And yes, he did.
The answer is yes. And sometimes, like most people who should be brushing their teeth, it happens twice a day.
Mm-hmm. Even, well, 3 times if you're
Even
crazy.
3 times. You know what? You never know. First pitch to Perry Hargett will miss upstairs.
What a wild inning, Jeremy. This is just a wild inning to a wild game.
Been a wild game. Been a wild day. Been a wild past couple of weeks as Perry Hargett takes a breaker in there for a called strike. And just an absolutely bizarre kind of back third of the season that we've been in. The 1-1, another breaker in there for a called strike. And 1 strike away now are the Sox from a loss. But just a whole lot of chaos going on as we head towards the playoffs, and it's an interesting stretch. The 1-2 pitch to Hargett on the ground towards the right side, off of the glove of Jaffe, who tries to flip over to Hull, but it will not be in time to beat Perry Hargett, so he'll get on to first base, reach via what could be either an infield single or an E3. In the book, we're going to give him the single, so he'll get the infield single to put runners on first and second, and the Sox, after some small ball, are sort of in business here. Still down by a whole lot. The first pitch to Langley down the third base line. Will it stay in play? No, it will not. On the chase was Jose Perez, who got there, but not in time to climb his way over the wall.
That was a crazy effort from Perez. The distance he covered to nearly make that catch was a very large amount. You obviously can't see because you're listening on the radio, but he went from his spot at third base all the way almost to the Turks bullpen to make that catch.
Now the 0-1 to Kyle Langley. Another breaker in there, a pitch that Hull has gone to a whole lot here. And against his former teammate in Kyle Langley, he's now ahead 0-2 with a chance to end the game. Hargett off of first, Sowers off of second. The Sox still down by 6. So no true damage to be done here. The 0-2 into Kyle Langley upstairs, ball 1. And a 5-run bottom of the 6th inning has effectively put this game out of reach for the Sox, albeit a miracle. The 1-2 now into Kyle Langley. Cut on and miss, strike 3, and that'll end this ball game. So an 8-2 win for the Turks. After they capitalize on just 6 hits, they push across 8 runs, take advantage of 3 errors defensively for the Sox. A misplay out in left field to blow it open in the bottom of the 6th inning. Take home a win, advance to 26-10, increase their lead in the VBL South, and will continue to celebrate their clinch of that 1 seed.
Yeah, it was just an unfortunate game for Charlottesville today. You didn't have the best performance in the field. You put the ball in play offensively, but it wasn't enough to generate a lot of runs. That's also credit to the Turks pitching staff, who was quite good today, despite not really getting the strikeout numbers you typically see from the staff that season. But if you're Charlottesville, you got to pick your head up and you got to move on. You're still in the hunt for second place in the Valley League South. You really don't see Harris. You see Harrisonburg one more time before the end of the season. But that matchup against Stanton is one you should keep your eyes on. But so is the matchup against Waynesboro tomorrow. That's a key one because you need to beat the teams below you in the South Division to stay at the top of this division. And that's going to be a big one, as those games with Waynesboro all season have been close calls for the Sox.
And assuming everything holds as it is true here in the VBO South, following tonight's action, Stanton will move back up into second place here in the VBL South and will hold that coveted bye. They've got a 7-3 lead right now over Waynesboro, who the Sox will face tomorrow with a chance to try to fight back before they go on the road to Stanton on Monday, go on the road to Culpeper on Tuesday, and close off their season with a doubleheader against Covington on Wednesday. So for Luke Stefanisco and Jeremy Rose, the Sox fall 8-2 on the road here in Harrisonburg. Back in action tomorrow at home. And I believe you are on the call for that game, you and Daniel Stein, if I am not mistaken, who will take things over. Thank you guys to everybody for joining us here tonight. An 8-2 loss for the Sox. We will see you tomorrow.